Okay, welcome back. We have a few more presentations here. Did you want to speak first, Jay? Yeah, you're going to go.
Thank you, Mayor. So now we do have guest speakers to come and present. So with me today is Jessica Knock with the Beaumont Library, and then the board chair, Aruna Brennan, is here to present the library budget. So if you'd like to step up to the table, turn the mic on, and go crazy.
Welcome. Jessica, and sorry, what was? Urbuna? Aruna. Thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, if you want to just center between you and just make sure you lean in. It should be on. What number is this? 17?
It says seat 5.
It's seat 5. Sorry about that. Okay.
All right. Oh, there we go. So good afternoon, Mayor, councillors, and administration. Thank you for having us here this afternoon. I'm Aruna Brennan, Chair of the Beaumont Library Board, and with me is the Library Director, Jessica Knock. We're here to walk through our 2026 operating request to give you a clear picture of the value the library provides to Beaumont residents every single day. Our priorities this year are straightforward: sustaining access, protecting service quality, and strengthening capacity as Beaumont grows. We appreciate the investment that the city makes in the library for their community, and we take that responsibility seriously. Our vision and mission guide everything that we do. The library aims to be a place where everyone can gather, explore, learn, and express themselves. We bring that vision to life by connecting people with ideas, experiences, and with one another through our programs, our collections, space, technology, and staff. Our mission aligns directly with Beaumont's strategic plan and the city's aspirations. Our current strategic plan was shaped with the council's priorities in mind. Over the next few, support the city's goals.
Thank you, Aruna. Thank you, Aruna. Let's start with economic impact. The city aspires to be an economically prosperous and financially sustainable community to last generations. The library supports local prosperity by offering resources for residents to start businesses, upgrade skills, explore career options, and of course for recreation and entertainment. So far this year, residents have borrowed more than 130,000 items, saving local households over $3.4 million. In addition, our digital platforms offered to Beaumont residents through our membership through Yellowhead Regional Library have been used more than 20,000 times this year for an additional savings of approximately $530,000. These savings are a real, measurable return on a modest municipal investment and benefit residents directly, putting more discretionary income back into the community. And we know businesses choose communities with strong libraries because they're seen as essential quality of life amenities for employees and families. The City of Beaumont aspires to offer healthcare services that meet the needs of our growing population. Connection is a major contributor to mental and physical health. Our programs, outreach, and shared spaces help reduce isolation and strengthen community bonds, supporting Beaumont's overall health and social resilience. We also provide access to reliable health information via our physical and digital collections, as well as routine guest speakers who offer programs on everything from mental health to physical well-being. So far in 2025, we've offered 516 programs for more than 5,100 participants. Despite a month-long closure in June for renovations, we project this number is going to surpass the 2024 level. This year, we also completed the Community Gathering Spaces project, a major interior modernization that significantly improved accessibility, added more seating and study space, and refreshed the children's area. This update has created inclusive, comfortable spaces for residents to meet, learn, and feel connected to their community. The city aspires to future-proof growth for a safe, inclusive, and vibrant community. As Beaumont grows, free library access ensures everyone, regardless of income, has the same opportunity to learn, connect, and participate. And we're seeing that play out in real numbers. Today, 4,300 households, or 52% of Beaumont, have an active library card. That means that more than half of the households in our city have borrowed a book or used a digital resource this year. This number only reflects circulation, meaning actual use is likely much higher. It's a strong indicator of how deeply the library is woven into daily life in Beaumont. Membership programs and resources are all free, and critically, residents rely on us for free internet and computer access. This year, we've supported more than 27,000 Wi-Fi sessions across 2,500 devices. Add to that the 7,000 plus public computer sessions that residents have engaged in so far this year. That level of use shows just how essential the library is for people who need reliable connectivity for schoolwork, job searches, government services, and staying connected. Beaumont aspires to a strong volunteer spirit and a warm, neighborly feeling. The library supports that aspiration by being a trusted gathering place for all members of the community. When we first built this slide just a few weeks ago, we were at just over 51,000 visits. Now we're nearly at 60,000, a jump driven in part by families who turned to the library during the school strike for educational and recreational purposes. And that 60,000 figure means something else. It's the highest number of visits we've ever recorded. We've already surpassed last year's year-end total by 2%, and it's only November. At the heart of that growth is something simple. People come because the library feels warm and neighborly and is a welcoming space where they know they'll belong. We also benefited from 630 volunteer hours this year, with a significant share contributed by teens. Volunteers meaningfully extend our capacity. They strengthen programs, support outreach, and help us deliver services that reflect the community's needs. For youth, this work provides early career skills, leadership experience, and a pathway into community engagement, aligning closely with Beaumont's aspirations for a strong volunteer culture. All of this reflects a simple truth. The library isn't just a building, it's a part of the social fabric of Beaumont. Finally, the library supports the city's aspiration to empower citizens who connect and collaborate with civic government. More than 300 residents came out to our first candidate meet and greet this past October, showing how much this community values respectful dialogue and accessible democracy. We also play a big role in helping people make informed decisions, which is the foundation of civic participation. Our staff have answered over 33,000 questions this year, from job applications to government information. When people can easily get the information they need, they're better equipped to engage in civic life. I'll now turn it back to Aruna to walk through our funding priorities and the 2026 operating grant request.
Perfect, thanks, Jessica. So our request for 2026 focuses on one goal: ensuring that residents continue to receive the high-quality services that they rely on. We're asking for a modest, stable increase that supports day-to-day operations, programming, and access. So let's walk through this in a little bit more detail. First, the main driver of our request is sustaining and growing core services and staff capacity. Beaumont's library is operating at just over 40% of the recommended square footage for a community of this size. While long-term space planning continues with the city, this year's request focuses on what we can act on now. We're proposing one part-time position to stabilize frontline coverage and reduce service pressure. This role increases our capacity for partnerships, outreach, and off-site programming, a cost-effective way to meet the needs of a growing population within our current footprint. Second, we need to protect service quality. This request includes predictable cost of living and contractual increases such as lease and utilities. Addressing these now prevents larger corrections later and ensures residents continue to receive reliable service. Finally, stable funding is what makes growth and innovation possible. Beaumont is changing, and the library has to change with it. We can't strengthen services, expand programs, or run initiatives like Meet the Candidates without the resources to do so. This budget provides the support needed to keep moving forward. The major focus, as mentioned, of this budget is adding a part-time role to support programming, services, and outreach, along with covering those inflationary pressures such as lease and utilities. This year, we're requesting $1,388,900 from the city, an increase of $84,800 or 6.5% from the previous year's request. This is a more modest adjustment than the increase requested last year, reflecting the efficiencies we've worked hard to find. For example, we've reduced our collections budget by $16,500 after expanding the collections last year to the limits of our current space. This year's allocation reflects what's required to maintain a right-sized collection, and we also held the line on programming despite rising costs. Additionally, the board is self-funding the development of a 2027 to 2031 strategic plan, which we look forward to aligning with the city's upcoming plan. With these adjustments, we're confident we can continue to deliver exceptional library service. Before we close, I'll just turn it back to Jessica to speak about the impact of stable funding.
Great, thank you, Aruna. This last section shows how stable funding directly supports the services residents rely on. Stable funding will help us sustain core services, protect quality as demand grows, and remain flexible enough to meet new needs. It's also what allows us to expand programs now while planning responsibly for future space needs. This next slide shows what this looks like in practice. This matrix highlights the impact of the funding decisions before you. When resources fall behind, the effects will show up quickly. Fewer programs, shorter opening hours, longer waits, reduced access for families, and slower response to community needs. Limited resources also restrict our ability to partner, innovate, and keep pace with Beaumont's growth. Stable funding, on the other hand, keeps the library reliable, equitable, and future-focused. It allows us to sustain core services, protect our service quality, and maintain the skilled team needed to deliver programs and support residents. Ultimately, stable funding is what unlocks growth and innovation. It's what enables us to strengthen services and expand programs from Meet the Candidates to our upcoming Brighten Up Beaumont partnership with the city. And when unexpected needs arise, like the most recent school strike, the community turns to us. We responded quickly and supported students with additional activities, resources, and programming, but doing so required us to stretch our resources as far as they would go. This budget ensures we can continue absorbing those pressures without eroding day-to-day service.
So on behalf of the Library Board and staff, thank you for the opportunity to present our work and our 2026 operating budget or request. We're grateful for the ongoing support from Council and administration, and we look forward to continuing to offer Beaumont residents opportunities to explore, discover, and connect in 2026. And Jessica and I are happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Any questions from Council? Sorry, Councillor Penrod and then Councillor Hyde.
Presentation and for your continued service to the community. I know that I've seen in your report, I think the number's like 53% of Beaumont households that have at least one library card. I'm just wondering if you have a number that's a bit more reflective of the year-over-year growth we're seeing in our population. So 53% in 2025 is not 53% in 2026, right? So just to get a sense of the growth pressure that you're under as we serve more and more residents. Do you have a number like that handy? Or?
So I don't have a future forward number for you today, but that's easy for me to calculate and bring forward in the immediate future. I would say that the population figures include a pretty typical rate of expansion, right? So we're not using a 2021 or 2022 population to calculate this. We're making our best guess at what a 2025 population looks like when we're calculating it's the 52%.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all my questions for now.
Okay.
Appreciate your work.
Thank you. Councillor Hyde.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at your additional 0.8 FTE. What part of that $71,400 is proportionate to the 0.8 FTE?
What part of the
$71,400?
Almost all of it. So that would include a base salary in addition to the benefits and other things that come along with that.
Okay, because you have merit, COLA, increased benefit costs, all within that $71,400, but
there's some of that as well.
There's some of that in there. And the increase for the one-time reserve funded project, projected cost to maintain library operations is $43,300. So one-time reserve funded project, what What project is that? That's the one-time reserve fund project?
We will be seeking support to write our strategic plan for 27 to 31, as well as a community needs assessment. And that will be self-funded.
And that'll be self-funded. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. I just have one question, then we'll go over to Councillor Murray. In terms, how many staff do you have? How many full-time staff?
Full-time equivalent. We have about 15 staff, less full-time equivalent, so 5 full-time staff. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Murray.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I'm just wondering if you can speak to the month that you had closed. What kind of the work did you do inside the library?
So that month that we were closed, I'm happy to answer, but if you want to jump
can go
in,
for it.
I don't want to hog the mic.
You go for it all.
So the month that we were closed, it was a complete renovation, including new furniture, much needed furniture, an expansion and a redesign of the children's space, an expansion and redesign of the adult seating space, just to give adults and teens more room to move around. And I think most importantly, it included an expansion of our collection capacity. So it included the building of new shelves and the expansion of our collection to the maximum that library can hold, which is around 40,000. I should say that it's still not meeting the minimum standards for what's recommended for collection sizes for communities of our population. That would be around 52,000 items, but we do not have the space. So we're at max capacity, and that was a big part of what that expansion allowed, or that renovation allowed.
Okay, cool.
And if I could just add as well, so it was our community gathering space project, which we did with support from city as well. So we got some capital funding from there. We, as a board, also put forward capital funding, and we also applied for a grant to help create this more welcoming space at the library.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Any other questions? Okay, we're done. Thank you so much for your presentation. Appreciate it. So I will just revisit in case there's any leftover questions from the capital budget, because we had come out of closed session and then went straight into a break. But we will also have opportunity next week during the debate process to talk through some of the other issues. But if there are any last minute questions.
Thank you, Mayor. So just before we get going, so we're able to take questions now on materials that were presented. We will be updating the information for the public website with some more content. We're also planning, as part of on Wednesday morning next week, we'll do a budget recap, and we'd be happy to take further questions if there was about the finances on capital at that point, to provide council some appropriate time for review and content. But if you have comments or questions about scope or what what the vision of the capital projects are now that were already provided in the package, we'd be happy to take questions now. And if there's after questions, we would proceed to utilities. That should be a reasonably short presentation after.
Okay, thank you. So Councillor Van Newkirk, you have a question?
Yeah, I think I'll ask one question here, and I'll probably save the rest for the next period of time. Can you speak to the status and what's included in the Rousseau Park? Where are we at? When will we hear something? What does that look like? What's the outlook? Just want to try and understand what is going to be included there.
Number 7, go ahead.
Great, thank you very much, Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Van Newkirk. The Rousseau field has recently been leveled and surveyed, so we are finalizing the design to optimize the layout and what would be possible through the existing land. And at this time, we're preparing a letter to our stakeholder groups, so the schools as well as the baseball and soccer associations. It, at this time, appears as though to optimize the space, we will need to fill in the ditch that is currently there and provide underground infrastructure for the storm system. And we will be able to fit one pitch and one baseball diamond. So one soccer pitch and one baseball diamond. We are preparing that informational package right now, and we'll be communicating with our stakeholders to ensure that we're capturing that as best as we can for the community.
Thank you, Mr. Anders.
That's good, thank you.
You're good. Councillor Hyde?
Yeah, so I can ask questions on scope or anything like that towards that. Okay, so basically on the Russo project, is there, you talk about stakeholders, is there collaboration with the school that is there as well as some of the costs involved?
And Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Hyde, currently our budget is for the city to capture the project costs at this point. We could explore partnering with our school partners, but that discussion hasn't occurred at this time.
Okay, I think, did you want to speak to that, Jay? You had your...
Sorry, I confess I was multitasking and Can you repeat the question for me?
No, I was just talking about partnering with the school that is there on any type of collaboration in regards to that field.
Finance is not personally aware of any of the conversations of that, but I'm sure we'd be happy to explore it from administration's perspective.
I can give that administrative perspective a little bit, and then Mr. Lewicki can chime in. Typically, when we're working with the school boards through the design process to the construction of the sites, we start talking about what kind of happens around that, because the school gets the footprint of the building and their playground, and then the rest of that is on the city, which is where you're seeing that through the capital process. School boards are really stuck in terms of the pots of money that they can spend money on, and they may not actually have those funds for those available to be able to partner through that. We've had discussions, I believe, in the past, because the Francophone Board has been asking when this could come on board, and I don't believe they have any funds that they could spend on this, but that is something else too that we can always take back, and we're always looking to maximize partnerships. So.
Okay, that answers that question. The other question I had was the roof ice control. I'm having a hard time with this because this is a design flaw, in my opinion. And can we not go back to the engineer, the builder, and say, you guys did not do this well, and this is their issue, and shouldn't they be looking after it because it is a design flaw? I mean, we're in Alberta, ice happens on roofs. I don't understand why this wasn't designed properly in the first place, and why we can't go back to the engineer and the builder and say, you need to fix this design.
Mr. Lopecki?
Through the mayor to Councillor Hyde, I wasn't here when the building was built, but I believe that this was maybe a scope deletion issue and not, I could be wrong, but I believe that it wasn't a flaw, it was just not included. And so this is the next step. I would expect that the warranty period on that building and contract is far gone, and there would be, so we're just proceeding with installing this as per, to allow the space underneath the roofing to be reutilized through the winter months instead of closing it again, so.
Are we able to explore any letter, any way we can go back to the manufacturer, the builder, and say, look at, you know what, this is your building, you've designed this, and there is a flaw to this, and we'd like you to correct it, even though we may be past the due date? Is that a possibility?
We can look back to see what was included in the scope and what was not included in the scope. If it was part of the original design and the decision was to remove it, I don't think that we have too much of a course of action. However, if it was a deletion, yeah, we could look at it. It might be a lot of effort to go back, and it might be something that requires a lot of effort from a legal perspective, I'm not sure, but we can definitely do some initial digging to see what if it was included or not included in the original design.
If I can add, I was here, sorry, Aaron, letting you hang there. We have researched this, and it was cut out of the original design. We don't have a leg to stand on. So we need to put the dollars in place and fix the problem.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, well, that answers that question. The other question I'll leave until we have discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at that we will go on to the next department, which is utilities. Utility? Is that you, Mr. Lebecki?
Yep.
Okay.
Have to listen to me again. Hello again. For those who, I am the Director of Infrastructure for the City of Beaumont. And I'm also responsible for the oversight of the utility department that is managed through our utility and facility operations service area. Today I will present an overview and the highlights of the proposed 2026 operating budget for the utilities department. This includes a brief overview of the services of the utility department, focus for 2026, service level considerations, operational efficiencies, and a review of the recommended operation budget for the department for 2026. The utility department is responsible for operating and maintenance of water infrastructure, including reservoirs, pumps, valves, water meters, and water main pipes. Sanitary sewers, including lift stations, pumps, sewer mains, and manholes. Storm sewers, including lift stations, stormwater management facilities, which are your stormwater ponds, as they're commonly called, and stormwater mains. Oversight of solid waste operations, including organics, recycling, and general residential refuse, and support and oversight of the capital utility and growth renewal programs. The utility department has developed priorities for 2026 related to meeting utility service levels through increasing efficiency and reliability. This will include completion of stormwater condition assessments conducted through camera inspections that enable proactive maintenance before asset failure. Additional resources to support operation and maintenance of new infrastructure, including a sanitary lift station, 2 stormwater lift stations, 4 kilometers of water lines, 5.8 kilometers of stormwater or storm sewer lines, 4.2 kilometers of sanitary mains, 28 hydrants, and 79 water valves. As you can see, we do gather a lot of assets as we move forward here due to growth aspects of our business. And lastly, focus is the improvement to waste services through the Service Experience Office that includes enhanced response times, streamlined processes, and service delivery while utilizing transparent and clear communication. Next, I wanted to briefly summarize the 2 major considerations relating to the utility department, which would be growth pressures and aging infrastructure. Growth pressures and aging utility infrastructure typically translate into growth and renewal utility capital projects to meet growing community needs. Delivery of these capital projects requires significant support from the utilities team to ensure infrastructure meets operational needs and to ensure serviceability once the asset is handed over to operations. Growth pressures also translate into commissioning and maintenance of new assets, while aging infrastructure results in increased maintenance and repairs, straining resources and operational budgets. With growth and aging infrastructure pressures, while growth and aging infrastructure pressures impact utility operations, the team continues with the mindset of continuous improvement to find ways to reduce costs and improve system reliability. Some of these improvements and reliabilities and efficiencies include system control and data acquisition improvements that we talked about previously relating to having them connect directly to our utility systems. So it's future proofing for growth and utility infrastructure to improve system reliability and emergency preparedness. Inflow and infiltration reduction allows for increased sanitary sewer capacity and decreases the need for sanitary sewer system expansion or upsizing while reducing capital investment to pay for sewer upgrades and upsizing. And successful implementation of the extended producer responsibility program resulting in reduced recycling costs. Moving on to the utility operating budget, revenues for 2026 will increase by 22% due to growth and rate increases, while expenses will increase by 26% due to the increased cost to deliver services. Surplus revenues are transferred to reserves to support completion of future utility renewal and growth projects. When considering additional expenses for 2026, the utility department is requesting additional funds to manage new assets as part of the utility base budget to support operation and maintenance of new lift stations and other utility infrastructure that has come online in 2025 or is coming online in 2026. Additionally, the utility department is seeking to do additional inspections moving forward to proactively identify storm sewer pipes that are in poor condition. Conducting these inspections will allow the utility team to proactively identify issues in pipes before they result in failure that could result in flooding or other drainage concerns. For commission rates and pricing, unit rate pricing for water and wastewater treatment is set by the Water and Wastewater Commissions. The city reviews typical water utilization rates from this revenue from water supply and wastewater treatment and are calculated for 2026. Additionally, rates for solid waste, recycling, and organic pickup are based on current solid waste contract that is outsourced through a competitive tender. Based on the utility base budget adjustment and additional stormwater assessment program, the costs to support these adjustments are offset by revenues generated from the water, wastewater, and solid waste services provided to the residents of the city. As previously mentioned, surplus revenue is transferred to reserves to support completion of future utility renewal and growth projects. In summary, the utility department is requesting additional funds to manage new assets as part of the utility base budget to support operation and maintenance of new infrastructure, as well as expansion of proactive inspection program to identify issues in stormwater pipes before they fail or become an issue. These additional program costs are offset by revenues generated from the water, wastewater, and solid waste services provided to the residents. This concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions you may have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewicki, for that. So my first question, it looks like you're also wanting to add on extra personnel here, 25% increase?
Yeah, through the mayor, we have requested an additional FTE water operator position to support service level delivery for the assets that I had indicated previously in the presentation.
Okay. And how many FTEs do you have currently?
So through the mayor, that's a difficult question because essentially we have employees that are dedicated to utilities full-time, and then we have other employees across the city that are percentage rated for utilities. For instance, on our roads team, we have operators who are 20% because they do the drainage aspects. We have aspects of our finance team that do the utility billing. So I don't, it's hard to answer. I'll let
Jay,
my colleague.
Yeah, so what this number encompasses for the personnel?
Well, so just elaborating on, so the personnel piece in there is strictly for 100% utility function. So, and you see down in the lower is the transfer from municipal operating budget. So in 2025, it was 2.2 million. It goes up to almost 2.5 million in 2026. Those are called municipal chargebacks. So what it is all of the municipal enabling services, so finance, HR, all of those pieces, we bill utilities for that piece. So that's part of the net zero recovery piece. So there's a bunch of, to say how many staff support utilities is, well, a little bit of me and a little bit of Donna and a little like, so it's, but from a direct staffing perspective, I think it'd be, you said 4, going up to 5, I guess, with that percentage. But the other, yeah, So just so the clarity on the reserve fee or the transfers piece, there's a bunch of clawbacks from support from the organization.
Okay, so there's the personnel numbers here is 4 full-time and then some other random add-ons?
Allocations.
Yes, there will be 5.
5?
Five FTEs.
Including the ask?
It'll be 5, it's 5 plus,
5 plus?
the ask would be 6 total,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
no problem.
Any other questions? Caught us at the end of the day here, people are utilities. Wow, okay, here we go. Councillor Penrod.
Yeah, maybe just to try to clarify my thinking around, we had some interesting conversations yesterday around cost recoveries, and I get that was around a particular policy that was created in part, I think, in answer to a hot topic in the community. But it seems to me that utilities is also set up to be full cost recovery, and yet we've got these aspects of the rest of the organization that are subsidizing utilities. So just help me understand how those two cost centers are different, childcare and utilities.
So through the merit of the councillor, so that's exactly what I talked about. So the $2.5 million is billed to utilities to pay for municipal service that's provided. So it is net zero from that perspective. We go through a allocations exercise and figure out the proportionate amount of effort by each area. So finance, how many invoices do we process? How many bills do we send out? All those pieces. So we recover dollars and it is billed to utilities, which then goes into the rates.
Yeah.
So different than childcare where that overhead is just within the whole municipal budget. We do bill utilities because it's a different funding source through utility rates. So we track and allocate that expense to them. So it is not like childcare in that regard.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Penrod. I just knew you were going to ask Councillor Van Newkirk.
I was toying with it. Mr. Lewicki, would you be able to share the importance of the I&I work that's contemplated and just really paint the picture between the good work there and the actual savings on the other end? I think it'd be important for council to hear that.
Yeah, through the mayor to Councillor Van Newkirk, some background, I guess, on inflow and infiltration. I won't get into depth on this, but essentially we have, and this is not unique to Beaumont, but we have infiltration of surface water and into our sanitary sewer system through various either groundwater recharge through cracks or seams in the system, or surface infiltration through manholes or other aspects. What this does is and during precipitation events or heavy or melt, spring melt, we can see significantly increased sanitary sewer flows into our systems. We pay wastewater treatment charges on every cubic meter of wastewater that runs into that system. So essentially, when we can reduce what we call I&I, inflow and infiltration, we can increase the capacity of our sewer system to handle the actual waste that it's designed to hold or to transport. And we can reduce our costs at the same time by making sure that we are focusing on that. And how we do that is through various capital programs that we have to improve systems and replace sections and so on, sections of pipe and so on, different manholes and repairs that we do. And so that's an ongoing program that we have to continue. It's not something you can just check a box and be done with. It's something that you have to continually do. You have to work on it every year. And we've been quite diligent over the last few years in reducing that. But it is an ongoing thing that you have to continue to do. It's part of our asset management strategy for sure. So hopefully that gives a little bit enlightenment into that topic.
Yeah, exactly. There's two water disposal systems, stormwater and wastewater. The wastewater stuff, the rates are doing this, and they're going to continue to do that. So all the work that we do to keep stormwater and groundwater out of the wastewater system is money in our pocket per se, because we're not spinning the meter every time it rains. One of the areas in the region that has a real challenge is actually Atchison. The system there is quite in disrepair, so the groundwater flow and surface water flow into the actual sanitary system is elevating their bills because they need to repair stuff, right? So being proactive, Beaumont doesn't get there. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looks like that's all the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So closing comments and next steps, Madam Mayor. So we will recess until Wednesday morning, in which we will do a budget recap just to kind of set the table, answer any outstanding questions on the capital information that was shared today, and then proceed into deliberations. There will be the sharing of the financial, the public sharing of the information that was discussed in closed session will happen tomorrow, given the time of day right now, so we'll need some time to get that report ready. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Go ahead.
Go ahead, CEO Schwartz.
Sure, and this is more for the public's edification, because I just sent a chat, and I thought it's worthwhile to say it publicly. I want to thank council for your patience and for being so connected the last 2 days. Not only you're a new council, but we just threw a whole bunch of stuff at you. We changed our procedures and it tripped us up a couple times, but your patience was appreciated. The quality of questions was bang on, and I really hope the public got a chance to hear some of those answers and sort of get rid of some of that hearsay that we don't know what the hell we're doing. But mostly, like I said in my chat, this is one of the best conversations at a budget that I've been part of. So thank you very much, and keep those questions coming. It helps you, it helps us. If you're asking the question, somebody out in the public's asking the question. We respect that. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your willingness to work with us in this in terms of transparency as well, and welcoming the questions. I just want to encourage the public that we do have open house on Friday night and Saturday morning, where you can come, and a number of councillors will be there. You can ask us questions, you can give us feedback, and we welcome that. So I want to encourage you to be a part of the process. And good night, everyone.